stated, Jezebel in First Kings. She was Ahab's wife. She was trying to get she got the Israelites to worship Baal. She tried to kill Elijah, but was unsuccessful. She was a person who knew how to influence people. She was an influencer. And she influenced many of the Israelites to worship Baal, which is an idol. She was keen on idol worship. But this dude, and I'll forget what you just said in a minute. This woman right here is totally different. Well, she's not totally different. She's different. It's a Jezebel. I did research, and I just started asking text question, verse 20 question. I said, who is this Jezebel? He gave me First Kings, but he said she's different than Jezebel in First Kings. I even did more research and said, really, her name really isn't possibly isn't Jezebel. But going with what Deacon Teresa said, she has a Jezebel spirit. Jezebel in First Kings was a person who seduced people and who influenced people. This Jezebel did the same thing to the people in verse 19 who were doing so well. She talked to them, and they allowed her to convince them to do sinful things. And I'll get that in a minute. I'm going to give you something else. Who she related to. Because notice the one in First Kings, she was the wife of Ahab. Watch it. The king of Ahab. The king, Ahab, rather, of Israel. She was married to him. The leader of Israel. She used her, I'm going to say it again, her influence and her being able to seduce people, convince people to worship Baal or idol. She was an idol worshiper. Jesus says this through John. Notwithstanding, in other words, not holding them back, I held a few things against thee. Now wait a minute. He's talking to the church. Amen. He's talking to the church at Five. He's talking to the church. Y'all done so wonderful. I complimented y'all, gave you all these accolades because of your good works, your love, your patience, your faith, your works, and now you have allowed one woman, one person to influence you and cause you to turn from what you've been doing that was right. I got some, church, he said, can I just do it this way? Church, I got something against y'all. because thou suffered, I don't use the word, thou allowed, or you allowed that woman. He didn't say, oh woman. He said, that woman. He specifically talking about that woman Jezebel, which called herself a prophet. Now, Lisa, tell me what you know that.
That God's gift to us isn't for us, it's for other people.
This girl called herself a prophetess. Y'all hear what I just said? She calls herself a prophetess. She was not called by God, which is what's going on in this dispensation. A lot of people are prophets, a lot of people are prophetesses, but they're like her, they call themselves one. Woo! Because you see what it says? It says, let's see this right here. I got scared of that. Which calleth herself a prophetess. It does not say God called her a prophetess. It says, which calleth herself a prophetess. To teach and seduce. Listen to this, right, that word right there, right there, my servants to commit fornication and convinced them to commit fornication. Another word when I read it, adultery. Watch this. Not only they committed two things. They committed spiritual adultery because they left God. Wait a minute, watch this. Help me, Holy Ghost. Because they were married to God. And so they allowed her to seduce them, and they went after another God. They also committed physical adultery. They were married in the physical realm as well as married to Jesus in the spirit realm. And they committed double adultery. They allowed this woman to cause them to do that. And then to eat things sacrificed to idols. They didn't say sacrifice to God. It says to idols. Because she was like the one in 1 Kings, idol worshiper. Oh my goodness. Let me go further. Watch this. Woo, Jesus. Listen to this. Listen to this. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute, let me emphasize something again. Going back to 1 Kings. Remember, she was Ahab's wife. Ahab was the king of Israel. Ahab was the leader of Israel. I'm emphasizing for a reason. He was a leader. That was his wife. I'm going to say something I've said before. I'm going to say it again. And it sounds redundant. It don't matter. Be careful who you attach yourself to. King Ahab attached himself to Jezebel, an idol worshiper. I'm going somewhere else in this verse. Listen to this. In Thyatira, there was the same compromising initiated and fostered by this apostate woman. Watch it. Inside the church. Mm-hmm. She was not outside the church. She was inside the church. I got to emphasize. She was a member of the church. Woo. Watch this. Watch this. Inside the church. Instead of that woman of some ancient manuscript, read your woman. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. King James says that woman. When I just read it, your woman. Now y'all wonder why I'm saying your woman? Y'all wonder why I'm saying it? Y'all wonder why? You got to look at your face. I'm going to tell you why I said your woman. Which would mean your wife. I'm going further again. That is the pastor's wife. As Ahab, the leader of Israel, Jezebel in 1 Kings was his wife. In Revelations 20 and 2 and 20, rather, the pastor's wife was like Jezebel. Can I tell y'all something else? I read this, not in my notes, but I read it. Thank you, Lord, for bringing it back to my attention. This woman and the woman in 1 Kings was a controlling woman. Even though Ahab was a king, Jezebel controlled Ahab, the king of Israel. Even though, I'm going this route, even though this Jezebel, the wife of the pastor of Thyatira, she had a controlling spirit. Woo. Watch this. The pastor's wife, the pastor and the church tolerated her because she called herself a prophet. I need somebody to turn to 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Don't read it yet. I'm going to show you something.